Welcome, everybody, to the Give It Podcast, the podcast for blurs, for nerds. If you have a fandom, you are most certainly welcome here. I'm host the Most Black Spartan, of course, the man to my left, your right, show guy Joe. How are you feeling this Memorial Day weekend, sir?
How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, old man? That's all I keep saying as I play Street Fighter 6. It's nothing but an endless stream of 70-year-old murder men.
I'm assuming everybody's playing Akuma.
Oh, God, it's like everywhere. It's even in the raccoon wounds. Akuma. He's everywhere. Thankfully, I don't play characters that have a natural advantage to them, but they got really buffed. So some people aren't used to Akuma because they charge in like he's not a glass cannon. And they keep forgetting that he is the quintessential glass cannon. So I toss you again. Not to mention, like I said, Manon got a lot of buffs. You can check out last night's stream. That was about an hour. I did some tossing, got tossed a bit. Not by an Akuma, by a JP.
Gotcha. Well, as you see, me and Joe are a little bit on the leveled up side, so we do kind of have some choice language, but sometimes words do fly. At the same time, there may be trailers that we may show that might be too intense for younger viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. How do we start this off? Well, me and Joe and Tafari and others did talk about this, and, we would be remiss if we didn't bring this. After the success of X-Men 97 and that, critically acclaimed, might be some talk of awards. Marvel execs, and again, this is all in the talking stage, because the head of streaming, Brad Winderbaum, had sat there and said anything is possible animated Spider-Man series. Now, of course, the screenshot that you see right there, guys, is from the 10th episode of Tolerance Extinction Part 3, where you do see Peter Parker, Mary Jane, and the Flash Thompson. You do see them all in the finale. We have said, and we'll repeat what we said about this, that X-Men 97 was a great adaptation of what you can do with the story as long as you stick with the source material and the lore and actually give us a very thought and thorough story. Could the same thing be done for the original animated Spider-Man series? Joe, what do you think?
Well, I just got finished watching the Marvel Assemble documentary on X-Men 97. It's very good, but it's also very curated because no talk of Morph whatsoever, and they like introducing to the majority of the cast, but there's no mention of that nice gentleman that kept giving us homework. That entire documentary. Keep in mind, I kind of am bashing it for those two things, for leaving them out, but it actually is a pretty good documentary on some stuff there. As for this, I am all for it. I'm all for it. I know Christopher Daniel Barnes is looking forward to scream his lungs out about the Shocker again if given the chance. I don't know if the entire cast will be able to come back, considering the original voice of Madam Web is gone, considering she was Stan Lee's wife.
Right.
I don't quite know what the Disney standpoint on using Punisher as a regular character would be. Or Kraven, considering I don't know if TV rights and movie rights are the same, because Sony still has all those villain rights.
That's true.
And whatnot. So, I am all for it. I would love it. But I think the safer bet would probably be a Daredevil 97, considering Disney owns the full rights to that.
Yeah.
Or maybe some of the other stuff like Wakanda 97, which for some reason, that was very confusing, and that I've picked up something.
What's that?
In one of the other Marvel animated series, we see the ascension of T'Challa, because T'Challa dies in that series. I think it's Fantastic Four. Don't quote me on that. I want to say it's Fantastic Four. But we know that one of the mandates was he had to use T'Chaka. But the Wakanda animated series has been in the talks forever, and now is more than a great time to do it, especially since you have that kind of audience. Not to
I mean,
Moon Knight 97. Just get it out there. Fix some stuff.
I would say you could do an animated Spider-Man, but I don't think you could do it to the level of X-Men 97. Because Spider-Man has always been seen as that. Spider-Man for the longest time, especially in the animated series, it's kind of been that blue sky. We don't go too dark. We go dark, but don't go too dark. X-Men 97 went all the way dark and had body counts and that. And could Spider-Man do that? Yes. Do I think that they want to? That's kind of a 50-50. But
make all 10 episodes the Clone Saga.
I mean, yeah, but my thing is, could they bring it back? I mean, like I was saying before, I think the success of X-Men 97 is going to lead to other series being brought back. Now, you're right. Because of Kraven, because of Venom, because of Sony and its rights over the villains, probably bringing them back is not going to be the easiest thing, or cannot be done at all. We really don't know.
Well, we don't know because TV rights and movie rights are very different things. So I don't know what falls in what.
Right. So it's like we can't say with 100% certainty. Again, you are right. The other canticles, Daredevil could be done, Wakanda can be done. But like I said before, to me, I just want to bring that up as far as that being a successful series does open the door to other possible series. But again, the fact that they didn't mention Bo, I don't want to sit there and say that it was designed because, again, we want to give that man props for what he created in season 1, and we know he did have a hand in some of the episodes in season 2. We definitely want to give that man his props and flowers. Unsure, I think nobody will ever find out why he was dismissed from X-Men 97, but the man gave us a great 10 episodes and hopefully 3 great episodes of season 2. But you're right. The fact that he got snubbed out of that actual documentary, that's kind of saying a lot. It really is. But anyway, we do got some trailers, guys. Again, BeetleJuice. And Joe had some interesting points about this. He said in the chat, but before he gets that, I'm gonna let the trailer play first because if this trailer doesn't give you nostalgia, nothing will.
Here's a preview. Be warned, it's intense.
Can't believe Grandpa's dead.
Death is hard.
Yeah, sometimes I think life is harder.
A trickster demon terrorized our entire family and tried to force me to marry him. I believed he was gone forever until you found this in the attic.
Ew. Who's BeetleJuice?
Don't ever say that name.
BeetleJuice.
No, Astrid! I am serious! If you say his name 3 times, he will appear.
BeetleJuice.
The juice is loose. I'm gonna make you so happy.
The living. The dead. Can they coexist? That's what we're here to find out.
Where's BeetleJuice?
Where's BeetleJuice?
BeetleJuice!
Feel free to express yourselves. Don't be afraid.
You're a figment of my imagination.
Really? Is this a figment of your imagination?
And that was the trailer for BeetleJuice. BeetleJuice, as you can see, guys, will be appearing September 6th. experience in IMAX. Joe, I know you had an interesting point about this. What was the point that you had that you said in our chat about the trailer?
It just reminds me of the old animated series. Like, I'm fully expecting either Jacques the workout French skeleton or the monster from down the street to make an appearance in this thing, but it looks fun. I'm guessing Justin Theroux is like and Lydia are divorced parents.
Yeah.
At this point, so that makes more sense. I look forward to it. It looks fine. The good part about Beetlejuice is all that makeup kind of hides how old Michael Keaton is, because he doesn't look any older than when he played it last time, thank God.
True. I mean, I think they were going for a different, Beetlejuice kind of has some age on him, even though he's technically a demon. But I'm loving the fact that, of course, with the sandworms and the fact of the whole when he shows his face, that you only see the back of his head, but you see everything come out. I'm hooked. I'm definitely gonna be watching it. Although every time I see Michael Keaton, I'm like, Batman Beyond is right there. It is right freaking there. And
so is David Zaslav, right there, ready to be the nothingness that would be like the nothing in the never-ending story.
Yeah, I know he's still there. But no, Beetlejuice definitely does come out, guys. I know it sounds like me and Joe and others will probably be watching it. Once it comes out, we definitely will give our reviews on that. But speaking of things that are coming out, and again, this was said on Blurred's Eye View, and I give Chris Fury credit for this. Ryan Reynolds is a marketing genius. The reason why I bring this up, guys, is because Deadpool and Wolverine has already broken a pre-sale record, according to AMC, which again, that says a lot. Now, don't get me wrong. We are looking forward to Deadpool and Wolverine. We did not think Ryan Reynolds could get Hugh Jackman to come back and, don the claws again. At the same time, we didn't know whether or not, because again, as Ryan Reynolds said, this is not Deadpool 3. This is Deadpool and Wolverine. And of course, all the cameos that are probably going to be coming from this that are being very selective, if you believe the rumors. So again, this is coming out July 26th. But the fact that it's already broken pre-sale tickets, I mean, is that a good sign, Joe, or is that just great marketing? Because technically, the next thing I'm going to show is going to be great marketing as well for Deadpool. But what are you going to say?
Well, they definitely have the best marketing team in the history of mankind because they're everywhere. Again, even in the raccoon wounds, technically those are Wolverine wounds, but still, they're everywhere, doing everything. I'm not surprised. I mean, this is also because this is the only Disney Marvel movie we have this year. Yeah,
that is true. But the reason why I say marketing, guys, because if you were at CinemaCon, and I don't know whoever leaked this, although I can't say it was Ryan Reynolds this time, but CinemaCon got to see some Deadpool and Wolverine footage, and there is a certain scene out there which I'm pretty sure is going to be showing up in other movies very soon, but haven't seen it. Well, again, before I get started, this is definitely adult language. You've been warned.
It's coming from out there. Hey, Bob. You're in a movie theater, not the off room in your mom's nursing home. So turn your phone to silent or I'll shove it so far up you'll have to answer it through your... No. Easy now. Easy now. So much testosterone. God, when you yell like that, it makes my vibrate.
Oh my God.
At least I think it's my... Listen, just turn your phones off or put them on silent. Whatever you prefer. I'm going to take his neck veins for a walk now. Enjoy the film. Nice fourth wall break back there. I didn't think you had it in you. Shut your mouth. No. They do not like that word in America or Canada or the Netherlands.
That, again, marketing genius. Of course, Deadpool Wolverine will be in theater July 26th, and we're not too far off from it now. But you got to admit, that is genius and a half as far as them, using Wolverine as a silence your phones, because again, if you're the kind of person that answers your phone in the movie theater, silence your phone or at least turn the brightness down. That's all we ask. But again, I have to give it to Ryan Reynolds. This man knows how to market it, how to market his stuff in everything, and still make it funny. But anything more we want to add to Deadpool Wolverine outside of just hurry up July 26th, Joe?
This film is not Captain America appropriate.
Oh, definitely not. It's definitely
language. So
not.
much language.
Please don't. You know what? Again, please don't bring your kids. I can't tell. I understand it's Disney, but again, don't bring your kids to the Deadpool movie unless you really trust the fact that they will not be able to repeat anything. But again, children are tape recorders. You've been warned. The next thing we got to talk about, guys, because I'm really surprised at Activision for this, for several reasons. Number one, the Summer of Games, which again me and Joe will be covering, is really a couple of weeks away. June the 7th. That's coming out.
Oh, my birthday. Neat.
So again, we talk about Summer of Games because in Summer of Games, it's basically Geoff Knightley just giving us all the trailers. And me and Joe have both said we expect to see a lot of surprises there, especially with new trailers, games that we are rumored to actually show things. I'm still hoping The Last Ronin has something there because we haven't seen anything since in development last year. I'm hoping to see technically Microsoft has their showing on Saturday, so we're probably going to be seeing Gear 6 more than likely there. But what I'm getting
out.
Say what?
The Last Ronin's out.
I can't, wait a minute, say it one more time and hear it.
The Last Ronin is out.
No, the video game.
Yeah, it's out. It's been out.
The video game, The Last Ronin's been out?
Yeah, it's been out. I have it on my PlayStation. Oh, wait, wrong Last Ronin. You mean the Turtles one.
I was gonna, Joe, you was about to have half of the internet come after you. Like, see, are you certain you got The Last Ronin? I was gonna say you're gonna have half the internet looking for you. But anyway, Activision. Joe threw me off. I was like, you already have The Last Ronin and I missed it? That's what
I was confusing it with Rise of the Ronin. It's like, what in God's name are you talking about? It's out. I have it.
Not Rise. No, not Rise.
No, that's what I got confused with.
Oh, okay, gotcha. No, Rise of the Ronin is still a great game. No, The Last Ronin, the Ninja Turtle version. But anyway, Activision has sat there and told us that outside of Call of Duty, we will be seeing a Gundam crossover, which basically has this. The shadow of a Gundam showing alongside the wall. So they will be coming. So Gundams will be coming to Call of Duty in Season 4, which means skins and things you can buy and add on to your character. I'm not really a skins person. I love Call of Duty. And again, me and Joe both love the world of Gundam. So it definitely does tickle your fancy that they're actually wanting to do that. And again, I'm not mad about that. They're wanting to bring that to Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. Come May 29th. But Joe, any other thoughts on that you want to add to that as far as the Gundam crossover?
If it's part of the free version of Call of Duty, which I don't know if there's such a thing ever, I wouldn't mind getting a try just for it because I would love to play as a skin of a Zaku. I understand there's also weapon blueprints, so you can make like a beam rifle, probably the Zaku gun, probably whatever Char's got, maybe... I am unfamiliar with Call of Duty. Do they have melee weapons in it?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so definitely a beam saber, maybe a He-Hawk will probably be one of those skins. I think I've already seen one. It could have been a mock of a Gundam skin. I'm not sure. I don't know what Gundam is going to be in there, but fairly certain it's going to be the original Universal Century Gundam.
Which so probably will be.
Because there's no new Gundam to promote this year, so...
Yeah, but we'll know in 5 days since it'll start on the 29th. But also Call of Duty news, they did confirm that we will be seeing the next introduction of Call of Duty called Black Ops 6. And if they actually did release, but are wondering, again, don't be surprised. You're not really going to see a lot. Riveting. So that was the teaser trailer for Call of Duty's Black Ops 6. They say the truth lies, as you can see with the Black Ops symbol across Mount Rushmore. Now, I'm going to be honest, Black Ops was probably my favorite. If I had to pick a favorite out of the Call of Duty series and the one that I actually will play, Black Ops is definitely my favorite. They said that this new one will be a darker chapter. I'm not sure how, because the last Modern Warfare kind of went hard. I'll be honest about that. It definitely went kind of hard about that. So I'm not sure where this is going to go, because again, I'm a person about the stories. And we do know for the most part that Black Ops 6 will be set during the Gulf War. Activision did go ahead and actually claim that. So it's going to be interesting to see where they do go with this. Right now, there's not. There will be a developer deep dive of this actually on the Microsoft's Xbox main showcase, like I talked about, on June the 9th. So again, I am just finding this very odd that for such a release that they just didn't wait a couple of weeks. I don't understand why Activision wanted to pull the trigger now. You could have waited till Summer of Games. You could have waited till the main Xbox game showcase on June the 9th. It's just odd that, they waited till now to come out and sit there and say, oh, by the way, we're coming out with a new Call of Duty, even though we know it's coming anyway, but still, Joe, Joe, do you think it's just, jumping the gun, or they just want to get out there, or did somebody mess up?
If they don't advertise now, how will they be able to spring the Mountain Dew themed drink about it when it's time?
You know what I think about that? You know what? Now that you bring that up, Code Red, that Midnight one, Livewire. It's sad that I know every Mountain Dew drink that was associated with Call of Duty, but every time you're right. Actually, you know what? You're 100% right. Every time Call of Duty came out, there's always been a Mountain Dew advertisement. You're 100% right. I want to forget it.
I refuse to drink the Xenomorph blood, by the way. You guys can drink all the acid you want.
Oh, good old Yellow 5. I wonder what the next be another flavor coming out for that. I wouldn't be surprised about that. But no, that's a realization. Every Mountain Dew flavor did actually come out as an advertisement for Call of Duty. Yeah, that's about right. Dang, that just blew my mind for a second. Anyway, but yeah, it's weird that they, like Joe said, if they're just getting ahead for advertisements, I get it, but not giving us anything but a teaser trailer, it just seems like you're just getting your name out there just to have it. I mean, if you're gonna give us something that we want, like Black Myth Wukong, give a release date for that game. That's what I'd like to know. But speaking of things that I definitely are out there, before we get to our next trailer, I know we talked about a while that we sat there and said a lot of Marvel projects were being kind of scrapped, or we thought were being scrapped. Like we thought Ironheart was going to be scrapped. Turns out it wasn't. We thought, the quote unquote Vision Quest, which again, Vision Quest was not the official name of the series, but that's kind of been the adaptive name that everybody went with. We thought that was 86. Well, turned out that we're wrong. It looks like that Disney Plus, along with Marvel, is moving forward with developing a new series with the same showrunner that actually did Star Trek Picard, Mr. Terry Matalas. If I mispronounced your name, I apologize. But he will actually be doing the showrunner for the Paul Bettany-led Vision series that's going to arrive in 2026, and basically going to be it's basically going to be after the events of WandaVision. Spoiler alert for all those that don't know. Vision and White Vision squared off in a theological debate to where White Vision, kind of took off and did his own thing. I want to throw this question to you, Joe. Is it needed for us to actually see what happens with White Vision, or is this just another way or is Disney actually really paying attention to quality over quantity right now?
That's really hard to say, because it seems like the only thing we're really getting follow-ups from is from WandaVision. We're getting the Agatha series, which is, I can't believe that's actually coming to fruition.
Yeah.
In all honesty. The only way I can see that being good is if we somehow get Wanda back at the end of that series, like Agatha resurrects Wanda, or does something where Wanda comes back. Yeah. That'd be the only reason I'm watching that show. I don't really know about.
Hey, Lenny.
Hey, Laney. I mean, I'm down to watch it because Paul Bettany is an amazing actor, and anything with Vision is going to be good. At least I hope so. I don't quite know what we'd be getting because Vision kind of operates as a duo, better in a team or in a pair, like Wanda and him, or Wonder Man and him, since they share brain scans. They're technically brothers. Him and Executioner, since they are also technically brothers. Him and Ultron, like, he's better as a pair than a single, so I don't really know. The thing that bums me out about this is with this being reported, that means we are not getting the so-called Star Trek Legacy series, which follows Jack Picard and Seven of Nine in the new Enterprise, which I want infinitesimally more than I do a new Vision series. I want a Star Trek Legacy over a Vision series any day of the week. And this is not me being a Trekkie. That's just me liking where it was going and wanting it to continue. This is just going to be a stepping stone towards Secret War or Avengers 5.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I kind of want to see what they do with it because, you know, for a lot of people don't know about Vision. If you not really follow him in the comics, and you only follow him in the MCU. Paul Bettany is a great actor. I'll give him that. So I'm curious to see what they come up with, and hopefully they give this series a name. Because if Vision Quest isn't the name, please tell us what it is, because we don't want to call it what it isn't. But again, if we don't know, that's all we got. But again, I guess we'll find out in a couple of years when that series comes to fruition. The other thing I wanted to bring up was Luke Cage. Mike Coulter, who again, and I keep bringing this up because we're seeing a lot of the Netflix Marvel series are coming back. I mean, we already see that Jessica Jones is going to be in Daredevil Born Again. We know that the Punisher will be making an appearance also in Born Again. And of course, in various social media, we do see that Mike Coulter and Catherine have been, kind of teasing that they're back. And even Finn Jones, Mr. Iron Fist himself, said, ? Maybe. But the reason why I bring up Luke Cage is because he was asked what would it take for him to return to the MCU. He says, quote unquote, I would totally entertain a good script, an idea that made sense. I understand, because how Luke Cage ended wasn't a very good ending. I can't believe they killed off Cottonmouth. The fact of, putting him in charge of Harlem's Paradise, it didn't sit well how they wanted to wrap up the Netflix series. So I always thought to myself, if Mike Coulter ever got a chance, because Evil is already wrapped up its final season, so it's not like the man doesn't have a free schedule. And I get the whole idea that he sat there and says, well, I'll entertain it if it's a good script, which again is, to me, is kind of a knock on saying the last showrunner that did Luke Cage may or may not have done a great job. Although technically he is still doing movies, as he's already said that he's starring in a sequel to Plane. And if you haven't seen Plane, why does it deserve a sequel? But that's a whole other conversation.
Was it called Train or Automobile?
It should be. I mean, Plane as in Plane was PLIAN. That's how Plane the movie was. I mean, it was a generic Delta Force about Chuck Norris. But anyway,
we need a rim shot for that for no reason.
I needed a rim shot. That's how boring the movie Plane actually was. But no, going back to Luke Cage, I don't blame him for sitting there saying, I need a good script for it to come back. It's the same sense I would tell Finn Jones, go find a Shaolin temple somewhere and train with actual martial artists and take it seriously. But I guess the question I would ask him is,
I don't put that on him. I always put that on the showrunner and writers.
I mean, we could say that, but just stepping away from Luke Cage for a second, we can say that.
That's like,
but every other actor on the show trained better than he did. Say what?
Wow, our delay is like really bad. I'm saying that's like putting Scar on Tatiana Ali. You can't put that on her. It's like you can't put that on him. That man's just an actor. All he had to do was like read the script and do
that's where I'll disagree, because you're supposed to be, the character you're playing is a master of martial arts. The fact that you are supposed to be, I'm not asking you to be Donnie Yen level, although I really wish you would. I mean, you're telling me Donnie Yen, Sammo Hung, Jet Li, Jackie Chan, you're going to sit there and tell me that the top martial artist that you could employ, along with the best fight choreography that money can buy, and you're going to sit there and tell me that you decided to utilize none of it, but every other actor in the show fought better than you did? I'm just saying. But no, with Mike Coulter, though, just going back to Luke Cage for a second, I mean, is it worth having Luke Cage back? I mean, understanding what he's saying, though, Joe, that the fact that having a script that makes sense will be the reason why he comes back, or do you think that he's just holding out because of other reasons?
Honestly, both. If it was up to me, the very first episode of the new Luke Cage episode is completely undoing the final episode of the second season, or him waking up in bed next to whatchamacallit's like, that was an odd dream.
Right.
Or do the David Duchovny thing where he's just like in the shower, it's like, what the hell was that?
Although it'd be a whole new reason why I work for coffee. But again, I hope he does come back. I do want to see the Defenders again. Even Finn Jones. I do want to see the Defenders again because it is in the MCU, and this is a perfect time for Marvel to really set out the low-level heroes and actually tell stories of their own. But they can also bring back Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as well. But let us know in the comments what you think about that guy, as far as is Mike Coulter ready to come back as Luke Cage, or is he holding out for something else? Who knows?
Don't bring back Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Just bring back the 3 people that actually matter.
Okay, before I play this trailer for Multiverses, go ahead and say what you're gonna say, Joe, before I play this trailer.
No, that was it. Don't bring back Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Just bring back the 3 people that actually mattered out of that show.
I see, that's where I'm different. I want the show to come back because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really did have good writing. It's just that weird time travel thing that just didn't make any sense.
And the 5 seasons about life model decoys that didn't need to be that.
That was just a big tease that really should have ended after 2. The tease of the LMD and what happened with Coulson really should have ended after season 2. That was just one humongous tease from 1 to 5 that didn't need to happen. But outside of that, it was still, for all its fault, it was still a great show. And yet this whole time in the MCU, you're not gonna sit there and tell, this is my point. The whole time of it, now with the MCU still out there, it would be nice to have a Disney TV continuum of the current series in a smaller screen format. It would make sense. Plus, I want to see Daisy again. That's just me. But
bring back Quake, Fitzsimmons, and Coulson, and just call it a day. We don't need any of these extra characters. God knows we don't need Deathlock again.
Oh, you got to bring back the Calvary. You have to bring her back.
That's fine too, but and also the Ghost Rider.
Yeah. I don't get me wrong, the guy, I forgot the guy's name who played Robbie Reyes. He did a great Ghost Rider.
So pissed at Disney now.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
They have him in constant limbo. He can't get a new acting job because he if I take another job and they need me, they will replace me.
Which is kind of messed up. But yeah. Dang, I forgot about the guy who played Robbie Reyes, because I loved his take on Ghost Rider. But anyway, Multiverses, because again, DC just will not give up on trying to create their own Smash Brothers. Did actually have a short trailer of Jason Voorhees. Yes, you can play as the man who won't die in Multiverses.
Get off me, furboy! I can't breathe.
Be quiet. It's just a weirdo in a mask.
Oh, man!
This spring, Jason is done playing around. He's camped in the shadows. He's journeyed to space. He's been hunting for rabbits.
We have ourselves a rabbit hater.
On May 28th, no one in multiverses is safe.
When we get out of here, we gotta keep in touch, dude. I love you, man. Oh my God! Wow, that was dark.
I can't get the idea of Jason moonwalking with a machete in his hand. That just won't go away. But anyway, that was the Multiverses trailer for Jason for Multiverses Season 1. Like I said before, I get the whole idea of what DC's trying to do. I mean, Smash right now is you need something to fill the Smash void. I get it. Having DC characters fight each other seems like a great idea. Did we really need this? That's my question. I mean, that's the question I would ask you, Joe. Did we really need this, or this feels like, well, you're a part of Warner Brothers. We might as well use you.
You basically just answered the question. You're part of Warner Brothers. We can use this without being tied up in litigation, like the last Jason game.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's going after Velma constantly. I feel like she would have last girl status.
One would think.
Either that, or he just doesn't want to go up against the little girl from Game of Thrones because she can actually stab him back.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. I mean, Jason was a nightmare to deal with in Mortal Kombat 10. So here it's just whatever. I mean, we still haven't even gotten a trailer for Agent Smith.
Yeah, that's kind of weird that they showed Jason Agent Smith. We only got a trailer for Jason unless Agent Smith is coming. But again, I'm not trying to knock multiverses. It looks like it's fun. It's supposed to be Smash related for the Warner Brothers universe. Basically, it's Space Jam, except Space Jam you can play with 4 people. But again, I digress. Really quick for impressions, guys, because I wanted to say very quickly about this game, about Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. It is currently out. If you do have Xbox Game Pass, you can actually play it for free. I did play it on Xbox Series X. Really quickly, it is first and foremost, I won't admit this. I played with the lights on. It is scary. It is survival horror. It is strategy. It is Dark Soul-like playing, but the story pulls you in. Haven't beaten it yet. I feel like I'm kind of at the, if I had to take a wild guess, I'm kind of at the midway point of the game because I've only been playing for a little over, I think total game time, maybe 8-9 hours now. But again, gameplay is great. Story so far is great. If you love the first Hellblade 2 is definitely up your alley. But again, if you're like me, you kind of chicken out on these type of horror games. Play with the lights on. That's the best thing I can tell you to do. But Joe, did you ever want to play a game like Hellblade 2, or did you kind of skip it?
I mean, I don't have an Xbox, so I can't play either one. But
gotcha.
supposedly you also need to play with the ear headphones on.
If you
hear all the voices that's whispering to her constantly.
I will put it to you this way. I did that for 5 minutes and I took the headphones off.
I thought that was also supposed to give you directions in combat.
To a certain extent. Most of it, I will put it this way. Combat wise, you actually will hear some things, whether you have headphones on or just a sound system, but a lot of it is really just the ambience of the game, if that makes sense. It's almost as if you're trying to play Silent Hill with the microphones on. I'm sorry, microphone with your headphones on. That it's the sound, just the sounds, the music, the sound effects, everything kind of being more hyphenated. Yep, you do get that with Hellblade 2, but for me, I'm like, I could do without the extra voices in my head. But that's just me. But again, if you're wondering about Hellblade 2, highly recommend that you should play it. I'm still currently playing it. I just gotta see how our story ends because, not to spoil it, the first 10 minutes, damn, that's all I'm gonna say. But moving on, because we still gotta talk about Disney Plus, Pixar. Pixar has announced that it will be laying off 14% of its workforce, as Disney has sat there and said that when it comes to the animation studio that has given us a lot of great movies, it's no longer a priority. This was confirmed by the Hollywood Reporter that 175 employees will be impacted by this job, which means that the total amount of layoffs from Pixar may be anywhere from 1,300 to 1,125 people. So we do know at least over 1,000 individuals will no longer have a job at Pixar. This unfortunately does not affect the top brass leadership of Pixar. And again, we've talked about this, that Disney has, me and Joe and others have talked about this, that Disney kind of has just really gotten so big, and with their acquisition of many things of Pixar, of Fox, of Marvel, and other IPs, that now because they've been kind of losing money instead of making money, they call it a restructuring. Anybody who's ever been in the workforce knows what the word restructuring means, and the fact that you should be looking for another job when you hear it. The one thing I'll say about this, Joe, is that because Pixar is laying off individuals, and it looks like animation movies may not come out as repetitive as they did in the past, does that mean that Pixar is done, or is it just like they say, we're just trying to restructure to stay afloat and stay alive?
That's so tough to say. I mean, we are getting Inside Out 2, which I think is a Pixar movie. Yeah. Disney also lost a good chunk of change on Wish. Mm-hmm. That movie just got awful and about as bland as anything. Not to mention, Pixar was also impacted by COVID, because we had all those Disney Plus exclusive movies for us to go to theater, and they all underperformed. But like Luca's a great film, Turning Red's a great film, right? Soul's an amazing film. It's just one of those things. In that last film about the two wizards finding the dad, in the D&D world, but that came out like at the beginning of COVID. Like that was literally the last movie to be in theaters before the world locked down. So like they have been getting hit left and right. And what was that other one that like bombed really, really bad? The Journey to the Center of the Earth movie. Oh, crap. We don't need to think of what it's called, but that one also tanked super duper hard. Right. Not a bad movie, but not a great movie.
Yeah, so I mean, I get it that, a lot of losses have been taken. And again, nobody wants to lose their job. But we don't wish that on anyone because, again, that's just the unfortunate nature of the business. But it just makes me wonder with these layoffs and the restructuring, it's like, how are they going to be approaching different movies? Will animation, because of the changes in animation, the technological advances we see with AI, that just makes me wonder, what are we going to see on the other side of things? So again, it's one of those, like you said, Joe, it's kind of hard to say, but at the same time, it's like, again, I just hate to see anybody lose their job. But
I mean, they've been in this position before. Remember the 80s, they were losing money left and right, and their films were not doing great until The Little Mermaid. Yeah. Disney hit first or second Renaissance. I'm unsure which. Yeah. But like they were just losing money hand over fist at that point with their animated films. Like Black Cauldron didn't do them really well. Oliver and Company didn't do them very well, even though I still quote that movie to this day. Mm-hmm. Mostly the Tito's stuff, but that's just me. What are some of the others? The Great Mouse Detective, Rescuers Down Under. No, wait, that may have come out during the Renaissance. No, that was like right before it.
Yeah,
like
you're right.
Right before it.
Yeah.
So like Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Hunchback of Notre Dame. So they've been in this position before. So it's a matter of time before they pull themselves back out. But still, it's bad that they got to go through all this and all those people impacted before Disney gets its act together again.
It's true, but it'll be interesting to see where they go to from here on out as far as that. But like you said, it's not the first time it's happened. But speaking of things, I love the fact that I love it. It's not the first time it happened because I gotta go to Star Wars before we go to our next video game trailer. Because we have found out Daisy Ridley, if you don't know who she is, she plays Rey in the Star Wars, sequel of the Star Wars current trilogy, The Force Awakens. She has sat there and said that in Star Wars Episode 9 is basically going to be coming back, and she's saying that although she is going to be reprising her role, this happens after 15 years later, after the Rise of Skywalker. She says that the movie would not be the same without her co-star John Boyega. She did ask if John Boyega would appear in the film. She did not give a direct answer. She did, when asked if he will return, she said, quote unquote, absolutely, of course, it feels like we should. Now, here's the thing that I'm going to point out. Number one, when you see, and I'm going to point this out again, I'm going to try to keep my rant very small, very limited. When you see a picture like this, keep in mind, fast forward back, let's see, The Force Awakens, 2021 or 2022, Joe? As far as when The Force Awakens comes out, I want to say 2021. I could be somewhat off, or it could be 2019. But anyway, let's just say when The Force Awakens comes out, we're finding out that there's a new trilogy, that they're going to basically pick up where Star Wars left off. It's great. And then you see a picture like this. You see this for advertising. And the first thing you're thinking, oh crap, a Black Jedi. We're actually going to see a Black Jedi in this movie.
Okay, I'm glad you said this movie because I was about to say, it's like, are we just discounting Samuel L. Jackson altogether?
No, we will never discount Samuel L. Jackson, because the reason why we'll never discount Samuel L. Jackson, I still want Mace Windu's story to be told, and not just in comics. I still say he still survived. But anyway, like I said, I'm trying to keep the rant short before I go into another rant. We were supposed to, by all intents and advertisements, we're supposed to get John Boyega, who, if you really think about his story, a child that was taken, brainwashed into being a stormtrooper, broke his psychological programming, and held a lightsaber not once, not twice, but thrice. And come to find out, he wasn't the main character at all. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not knocking Daisy's character, Rey. Rey's character is very interesting. And the fact that, we find out about her parents, her being so force sensitive. Do not get me wrong. Her story is great. But understand from an advertising standpoint, the reason why a lot of us got excited is because we saw that. And then at the same time, as you saw The Force Awakens, and then you saw the Rise, I think I want to say the Last Jedi, and then the Rise of Skywalker, his character really took more of a back seat as Kylo Ren and Rey's stories kind of took the forefront. Now, again, keep in mind, at the same time, John Boyega was actually also in a lot of protest at the time, where he did famously sit there and say, this may cost me my job, but F it, I've got to speak the truth about it, into which even Mark Hamill sat there and gave him props on Twitter. What am I getting at here? Will we see John Boyega in another Star Wars movie?
No.
I don't think so. Don't get me wrong. Would it take a lot to bring him back? Yes. Would he agree to it? Depends on what he gets. Depends on his story. Because again, for me, the travesty out of the Force Awakens saga was the fact that it should have been Finn that should have been the Jedi that we wanted. And you honestly, now that I think about it, you really could have had Rey. Rey could have fallen to the dark side and joined Kylo Ren. Finn could have been the Jedi that basically tries to bring her back. That still could have been a thing. But advertising, getting people to be excited about this, and at the same time, the story, that the direction that you went, you can blame J.J. Abrams, you can blame I forgot the guy who written the script already, because he's getting another shot to direct a Star Wars movie. You can blame whoever you want to, but I blame the advertising. And again, this goes back to the question: would he come back? I say no. You could offer that man everything, and I think he still wouldn't come back, because why do you want to reprise a character that you pretty much made in the background? But Joe, what would be the reasons why you think he wouldn't come back?
The clear bait and switch that took place the entire trilogy.
I mean, that aside from that, yeah.
I mean, plus let's be honest here. Rey is a good character. She does not have a good story. She had a good story until the third movie, when she was made a Palpatine for no reason whatsoever, because only certain people can be Jedi. No one else gets to be a Jedi. Only 2 families in all of Star Wars gets to be a Jedi. You're either a Skywalker or Palpatine. And good old Sheev had his granddaughter do it. Like, no. That's why I dislike the third one so much, aside from a whole bunch of other reasons, like the second one. The second one was promoting anyone had the potential that was force sensitive.
Right.
It could be a Jedi. It could be anybody. It doesn't have to be someone with a name. I wish so many people would get off their asses about the whole Casino Planet shit. I don't care. The point of the movie was anybody can do this. Anyone can be this. Right. Legacy doesn't mean crap in the grand scheme of things.
But the story was there. That's the thing that always bothered me about. That's the thing that's always bothered me about the Force Awakens saga, is that you had a great story right there that really could have opened up avenues, and for some odd reason, it never occurred.
John Boyega doesn't have to be Lando's son Chance that went missing as a toddler.
Although that
I'm pulling the name off of the old books, but that is Lando's kid's name from the Legacy series, Chance.
But again, I mean, I wouldn't be, like I said, the situation was right there to where it could have been a great story. And like I said, and like we said, I don't think John Boyega would come back. I think he would, I think he says he's flattered, but I don't think he would come back. Not as that character. That's just me. But
the Jar Jar Binks guy is having a resurgence, because I
love the fact
that by him. They literally just announced, we need you to come back as Jar Jar. I don't know. We're gonna make him a Sith Lord in a Lego Multiverses series. God damn it, I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the fact that, and again, before we go to Kingdom Hearts, I love the fact that a lot of and again, we would be remiss to sit there and say that between Hayden Christensen, between Ahmed Banks, I'm missing somebody else. Haley Joe.
No, we don't need to bring up Christopher Lloyd. He became trouble afterwards.
But the point I'm making is just that a lot of these characters caught a lot of crap because of toxic fan bases. And now that we're seeing that they're getting the love that they should have got from Jump Street, that part is cool. I will always say that. But yeah,
we're also missing the fact that Hayden Christensen is a fantastic actor, and we had crap directors for the trilogy, for the prequel thing. Terrible directors.
Yeah,
for 1, 2, and 3.
And I agree with that, Laney. For originally, I thought the second one was more inventive than 7 and 9. Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll agree with the last.
I mean, they had to play it safe on purpose for 7 to ease fans back in, let them know stuff is okay. So I mean, it is a little. I mean, they even say in the movies we're going up against another Death Star.
Mm-hmm.
So they acknowledge it in 7. 8 is my favorite. 9's just a flaming trash hole. It's so bad. It shies away from doing anything. Making anything last. There's zero consequence in that movie.
Mm-hmm. And
so pisses you off because it needed to be a retread. It absolutely had to, because at that point, because the reevaluation of 1, 2, and 3 hadn't happened, Lanny, 7 had to be that much of a retread to ease people back in and let them know, hey, stuff is not. This is not the 1, 2, and 3. This is going to be
Yeah.
more like 4, 5, 6.
Fair enough, but again, it's for John to come back. Like I said, unless y'all
have to. It's not even that you'd have to pull up with the dump trucks of money. You would have to pull up with dump trucks of gold from Fort Knox for this man to come back.
I mean, because I just don't see his character going anywhere outside of what his character did in the last
Not with
one.
how horrible they treated him in the last movie.
Right.
All he did was run around and shout Ray.
Yeah, I wish they had done something to bring brand new focus to Sith Lords. You would think so.
Let's not forget, Palpatine came back in Fortnite, not a movie, not a book. Fortnite.
I mean, but yeah, things that just, we're just going to hope and to get it right. But Tafari, who is currently at MomoCon right now because he is having fun, and hopefully if you're at MomoCon, you're having fun as well.
Tafari, if you're listening to this, you need to get in Captain Marvelous's autograph.
Outside of that, we would be remiss because me and Tafari are Kingdom Hearts fans, although I don't think we're going to get the next Kingdom Hearts about the same length as getting the next Final Fantasy game. But anyway, the trilogy is now on Steam for everybody. Say what?
We kind of are, because remember, there's that world that's going to get the new game.
That's the thing. Outside of
the Rentis or whatever it's called.
Sort of, but I do see your point though. But anyway, let's get to the trailer, guys. Again, all the Kingdom Hearts games currently are now on Steam.
Ages 10 and up.
When you walk away, you don't hear me say, please.
A war will soon wage. When the time comes, you mustn't fight, but instead you must fly away from here to the world outside. The future is in all your hands, as is the world's light. May your hearts be your guiding key.
I will tell you what your friend needs right now. It is not your protection. He needs you to believe.
I swore I would survive and be there to see what awaited beyond the Keyblade War.
What did you do to him?
Now return my friend's heart, or pay the price.
Would you mind if I stayed here with you?
Sure, if it will make you feel better.
Thank you. I will face the long darkness, and one day I'll return to Terra, and then
I don't think life is quite that simple.
The door is open, Sora. Now we can go to the outside world.
All for one, one for all.
Although my heart may be weak, it's not alone, and it's found a home with all the friends I've made. I don't need a weapon. My friends are my power.
Don't ever forget, wherever you go, I'm always with you.
Let's close this door for good.
Take care of her. You have lost sight of the light within the darkness, and it seems that you've forgotten that you forgot.
Don't worry, you made another promise to someone who you could never replace. She is your light.
I hope we can always be just like this forever.
What? Then I wasn't who I am?
Go on, you just keep running. But I'll always be there to bring you back.
Am I the one who did this to you? Looks like my summer vacation is over.
We pray for our sorrows to end and hope that our hearts will blend. Now I will step forward to realize this wish. And who knows?
Well, there is one advantage to being me.
Really? What's that?
Having you for a friend. There's a road for the taking. If you end, our world's aching.
You say you accepted?
It's not a game.
They're waiting for Sora. He's the only one who can put an end to their hurt.
You are the one who has made your heart a prison.
Even if you are not the prisoner, I know the Keyblade didn't choose me, and I don't care. I'm proud to be a small part of something bigger. The people it did choose. My friends. They are my power!
On that land shall darkness prevail and light expire. The future, it's already been written.
My whole journey began the day I lost her. I thought we'd finally be together. But she's out there, alone.
His heart and his mind are made up. Now believe in him.
Typical. You can't do anything without us, Sora.
Sora, let's close it. Everybody help me out. Everyone always told me to just follow my heart.
Seeing that you have also taken the forbidden path, you too must be ready to make the ultimate sacrifice.
I've
been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real or not?
You know, that right there, again, this is all going to be on Steam. So this is every Kingdom Hearts game currently. Although the next game, we're not 100% sure when it's going to show up. But currently, as you see right now, guys, every Kingdom Hearts game, remix and HD, will be available on Steam June 13th. So, again, we're not too far off from that. I see, Lanny, I know you had mentioned it. I know Joe had mentioned it, that you did play certain parts of Kingdom Hearts. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. It is a journey. It's a journey to actually play all these games, but it's fun to play these games. So if you ever do get the chance, I highly recommend that you do. Yeah, you're right, Lanny. There are so many games in Kingdom Hearts, but they're all connected in some way, form, or fashion. But Joe, I know you said there's some games you were talking about that you said that you said, what was the only one that you said? The only good one that was outside of Kingdom Hearts 2?
Birth by Sleep. Those are the only two that are worth. And I don't mean to say like one is a bad game, but like after playing the other ones, one just kind of is like, and just not as good as it used to be compared to like Birth by Sleep and 2, because there's so much, what's it called? Upkeep and progression and more things of comforts, more ease of use. And more updates for ease of use compared to the other ones. Like, even though it's final mix, it's like the final version of 2 and the final version of Birth by Sleep are just so much better.
Yeah,
by leaps and bounds. I mean, the only thing one really does now is I bet you Haley Joel Osment gets a gold swimming pool every time someone re-releases this game.
Probably. I mean, the song that gets played, that song has to be in a platinum status at this moment. But again, if you haven't played Kingdom Hearts and you are a fan of Steam, or if you have a rogue ally because you refuse to get a Steam Deck, now is the perfect time for you. And speaking of demand, we need a 358. Yeah, I'll agree with that. We do need a remake for that.
No, we need that to be an actual game.
But if it's remastered, I can see it. A remaster.
The mission structure layout and the gaming aspect was terrible. That was just cutscenes with me walking to the next point for the next cutscene. That needs to be an actual game.
Yeah, I think they can do it. I'm fairly certain they can do it. But what do you say before I hop on this remaster with online co-op? Yeah, why not? I'm not against that. But we do have a couple more news bits and a trailer before we get to our comics. So again, we did talk about the fact, guys, that Summer Game Fest is coming up. 2K, for reasons beyond our comprehension, has sat there and said that they are going to reveal the next iteration of the next 2K game at Summer Game Fest on Friday, June 7th. Already, the rumor mill has started. Could it be Borderlands? Could it be a brand new IP? Could it be a Mafia? Could it be the next Mafia game? I don't want to speculate because, again, I don't want to get my hopes up. Don't get me wrong. If it's Borderlands 4, it would make sense because there is a Borderlands movie coming out, and I guess they would, try to match the game with the advertisement. It would make sense. Could it be Mafia? Yeah, it could be Mafia. I guess in this case, let's see, 3's already came out. This would be Mafia 4. So yeah, it'd be Mafia 4, which again, if you played Mafia, that's also a great video game series as well. 3 was kind of my favorite out the bunch. But yeah, I mean, like I said, there's so many 2K games that are out there now. And let us know in the comments what you think, because again, we can speculate, but I'm gonna be honest. I'm just gonna wait for June 7th to see exactly what 2K plans to show, because it may be more than just one game. But Joe, you got any thoughts on that?
PGA 2K25. That'll be what it is.
Dang, you just had that one in the chamber, didn't you? You had that one ready to go.
FIFA?
FIFA. Well, yeah, FIFA still is very lucrative for 2K. So you would be right about that. And also NBA. And also
FIFA's 2K.
Say what?
At least I think FIFA's 2K.
Yeah, FIFA's 2K.
Okay.
Yeah, FIFA's definitely 2K. But it's just, that's what I'm saying. It's just the whole idea of just, I'm not trying to, like I said before, it's 2 weeks away to figure out exactly what 2K is going to do. But if I was a betting man, just because of the Borderlands movie, I think we're probably going to see a Borderlands 4. Which every Borderlands game that's ever came out has never been bad. Even the DLCs are great. So
it's never been bad, but you don't hear a lot of people talk about it after like the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, depends on which DLC, because I mean, I was gonna say between Sir Hammerlock and Mad Moxie, those DLCs are a little different. But anyway, let us know in the comments what you guys think. If you think 2K is blowing smoke, if you think 2K is going to come out with something, we want to know your opinions, because like I said, we will definitely find out at Summer Game Fest on Friday, June the 7th. But Sony has sat there and said, I'm sorry, what are you saying, Joe?
I was just saying, I'm going to have such a fun birthday next week.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have a lot of things going on. But we also know in the world of Sony, because Sony is like that kid that thinks they can do Marvel, but keeps failing miserably. They have announced that the last Venom movie, The Last Dance, is the last Venom movie for Sony. That's the one thing I want to point out very heavily, because when this article was first released, a lot of people thought that Sony was going to retire the Venom character. According to the Sony Pictures chairman, it's the last Venom movie for Sony. Now, again, that's open to interpretation, because Venom going forward may be a part of the Tom Holland Spider-Man universe. He may be a part of the Tobey Maguire or the or Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man universe. They haven't said, but because of this one, again, that's the thing I want to point out here, that because this is the last Venom movie, even though Madam Web, which we have said multiple times on the show, it's available on Netflix if you want to watch it. I wouldn't, but that's just my personal opinion. I wouldn't watch Madam Web just because, honestly, it was trash. It was trash from Jump Street, and all I saw was the trailers. However, if you want to make up your own mind, you can go on Netflix, waste 2 hours, and then be like a friend of ours that says that Madam Web wasn't that bad, and then half the internet came for him. So I kind of feel bad for Nix right now, because he's still fighting on that hill as we speak. But because this is the third and last Venom, they did say they're going to make this a huge spectacle. Venom did have, I'm not going to say a lot of success, but they didn't do bad either. The first Venom movie, I thought was okay. There Will Be Carnage, I kind of felt like it was lacking a little bit. Did Woody Harrelson play a good Cassidy? To an extent. How Venom came around, how Carnage came around, again, questionable how you do that. The fact that we saw what's the other symbiote's name? I can't think of it to save my life right now. Damn it. I can't think of the symbiote's name to save my life. Screech? No. Scream?
Which
no.
color?
Silver.
Silver was Riot. He's already dead.
No, maybe it was a silver grayish because it was the officer whose eardrums got blown out. He became a symbiote, and I forgot the symbiote's name.
Red and blue. It's Toxin.
Thank you. Toxin. I got the colors all wrong. I apologize, but it's just that Venom was probably the only Sony movie that I guess you can't say it was successful, but you can't say it didn't bomb either. So, I mean, is it because they're calling this Last Dance? Is it worth getting your hopes up, or the fact that Sony's, and I'm just throwing this question to you, Joe, and everybody else, because Venom is calling this Last Dance, is Sony just finally calling their chips in and saying we give up on trying to create a Marvel movie and just allowing Disney and the MCU to take over, or is this one good last shot of the middle finger at the MCU?
Neither. They have officially reported that Sony has handed over the Spider-Man movie franchise over to Christopher Miller and Phil Lord, who have been directing the successful Spider-Man movies now. And they are already doing some restructuring. So this is probably why there'll be no more Venoms, because now that they have showrunners for this franchise, they will be moving in that direction. However, they have already been fallen with setbacks. Amazon has officially stated they will not be doing Silk Spider Society, to which both of them were executive producers, but will be moving forward with Noir, which is the Nicolas Cage Spider-Man Noir series. We also have Beyond the Spider-Verse coming out.
That bothered me a little bit. But that bothered me a little bit. So they killed Silk Society. Spider-Man Noir with Nicolas Cage is a hit. Nicolas Cage with Noir, that's a hit. I'm not arguing that. They killed the Silk Society. That's the part where I'm just like, why? That could have. See, this is why I say. See, this is the problem I have with. Go ahead.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but I'm guessing the reason they killed Silk Spider Society is because of the failure of Madam Web, and Amazon does not have that big of faith in a female-led spider film or TV series. That is my guess, which more than likely is probably exactly on the money, unfortunately.
It's the Ghostbusters women It's the Ghostbusters women movie all over again. It is.
That movie was bad for wholly different reasons other than they were women.
But the actor effect is still there. That's what bothers me. It's like it's almost like going back to Ezra Miller's Flash. Because the Flash bombed, we will never get Batman Beyond. Even though Michael Keaton has sat there and said he'll do it. In the same sense with Spider, Sony doesn't have to be the next MCU. Sony doesn't have to be the next MCU. But actually do your due diligence and give us quality movies instead of Madam Web and Kraven the Hunter. You're making the villains the heroes of the movies, and it doesn't work at all. Don't believe me? Look at Morbius, which, by the way, I will watch Morbius before I watch Madam Web. That tells you, if anything, that tells you how bad Madam Web really is, that I will go back and watch Jared Leto's character, not just because of Matt Smith, who's having the time of his life, by the way, in that movie, which I highly agree with. But it was just that better. That alone screams everything you want to know. But it's just I don't get where Sony's going with this, because if you're going to take on IPs that are going to be big budgets, do it the right way. Or at the same time, there's a certain showrunner for X-Men 97 that's now available. That's all I'm saying. But that's just messed up. It really is. But moving right along, guys. I'm sorry. Do you have anything else you want to add to it?
No, the only way they can actually end this is putting a Spider-Man in fighting Venom, or Venom getting the Spider-Man symbol from fighting Spider-Man. That's how it needs to end. I don't know who it'll go to, God, I hope it's Garfield more than because we've already had Black Suit Toby, so we might as well have Black Suit Garfield. They've already mentioned even in the not Homecoming, Far From Home, where he was like, "Yeah, I kind of got things got dark for me for a while." It's like, did you run in with Venom? Is that why things got dark? We need you to elaborate.
A little bit. Sorry, lady. Obi is downstairs. He's actually asleep right now, so that's the reason why he's not usually hanging around me. But anyway, we do got one more trailer, one more piece of news before we get to our comics, guys. Again, if you're like me and Joe, Beverly Hills Cop was one of those movies that just sticks with you. And the fact that Netflix did release a trailer for their next edition of Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F, and I've already seen it. I can already say right now, if you love the first 3 movies, you're going to be watching this one.
Good morning, everybody. It's another beautiful day here in Beverly Hills.
What the hell was that?
Let me guess. Foley.
Did you say Foley? Foley! We stole a helicopter!
I didn't realize that you couldn't really fly a helicopter. Otherwise, I would have came up with a different idea. I told you it was a bad idea. Oh, he shot my rotor off. Shit. You know, this is very embarrassing. You know, part of me rather get locked up than get put in this little Fisher-Price-looking squad car. Y'all are the Lego cops. Jane, hey, this is your father. Before you hang up, I'm in town. I've been arrested. Hello? You sure y'all paying y'all's bills? Because this phone don't work. This isn't my first time in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, I saw that. 84, 87, and then 94. But this place has changed a bit.
What brings you back to 90210? I got a call from Billy.
He's in trouble now.
What do you want from me?
I want you to be a cop again.
You gotta do something.
Axel, if you damage any city property...
You're in a snowplow?
Yeah, we're in a damn snowplow. What's the problem? A lot of blind spots in the snowplow.
I'm on an undercover mission with wait for it. You're pissing off a lot of people. That means we get close. Y'all safe? Everybody safe?
There's no seatbelt in the middle.
The hell with the seatbelt? We're on the edge.
We're gonna need some backup.
Whoa! What are you doing?
I'm getting us some backup. God, I missed you, Axel.
I'm so watching that. So that, guys, was the trailer for Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. Will be on Netflix July 3rd. The fact that Balky is still around. that still sticks with me. The fact that Balky is still around, and that really a lot of the cast, the original cast, is still around. Even Paul Reiser, you know, I haven't seen him since Mad About You, and dear God, that's been a long time. I can't say nothing more than I'm definitely watching that, just because it looks like it's going to be funny. It looks like it captures everything that what Beverly Hills Cop used to be. I've got nothing else except to say to watch it. But Joe, what about you?
As long as it's better than Coming to America 2, I'm good.
You know, I think they learned their lesson. Although Coming to America 2 did have a... You know what? Really, before I get to this last bit of the news, Coming to America 2 really wasn't that bad. It wasn't... Now, did it not lead up to the first one? I'll give you that. It didn't match up to the first one. Nothing won't match up to the first one. Did they kind of go a different route with 2? I will fully agree with you. I really will. But just... I mean, it wasn't. It wasn't.
It had the
like
same issue of Matrix 4, where it was too busy reminding us how good the first movie was to actually tell the story of the second movie.
I mean, but it still was better than Madam Web.
So is me grating cheese on. So is me grating cheese with a mandolin on TikTok. What's your point?
I'm just going to use that as a bar every chance I get. But no, The Matrix. Oh dear God, that was. Don't get me wrong. I love Neil Patrick Harris is great and everything, but that's another movie where the script could have been done by someone else than the Wachowski. But again, Axel F comes out July 3rd. A lot of good stuff's come out in July actually. So, wow. But yeah. Oh, excuse me. Got a little congested there. So the last bit that I do have, guys, if you are fans of Superman and Lois, we do know that they will be in the upcoming lineup for the CW starting Thursday nights at 8 p.m. The show is being paired with Librarians, the next chapter, which I'm surprised are coming on the Librarian show because actually I did like the Librarian and the Librarians that was both on TNT, but they both got canceled. So I'm surprised we're seeing it on CW. That being said, keep in mind this is the final season for Superman and Lois. I thought that this was one of the better CW shows because every season just seemed to be great. Tyler Hoechlin actually, be playing a more human Clark Kent, if that makes any sense. But I love the fact that everybody on the cast really did have something. Unfortunately, just to go ahead and just say this now. The cast has been trimmed down for the final season, so a lot of familiar faces that we got used to in season 1 and in season 2 will not be in the third season. So again, it was budget constraints. At the same time, it was just the fact that they had to make it work. I get it. I just hope it doesn't taint the third season, but chances are it actually might do just that. Now, of course, we don't. Now, keep in mind, this is the CW, which means that this probably will not come out until sometime in July, sometime in near the end of July or August. When they do actually give a more set, determined date, we will definitely pass that along. But again, at least we're getting the final season of Superman and Lois. I really wish it should have went to Max. It really should. Of any season of the CW. Now, don't get me wrong. I know I've said on here a lot of times about the CW. I've sat there and said that Greg Berlanti really did not build a proper Arrowverse to actually survive because, let's be honest, almost every DC show past season 3 kind of went downhill. Almost every DC show. Even though Black Lightning, which again, you had potential there. You could have brought in Static. You really could have done a lot with that. But I digress. Also did hit shelves. Superman and Lois has been from out of the gate was a great show. It's a great show. So the fact that it's not on Max, it's not still with its full cast, it's not still moving forward. Unfortunately, I chalk it to Zaslav. Zaslav is killing a lot of these shows out here. Along with, this is the reason why I'm kind of scared. Well, I'm not scared because Gunn had already sat there and told Warner Brothers, hey, anything DC related, here's the line, don't cross it. I just wish that he could have saved Superman and Lois, but I get it. He's working on Legacy. It looks great from the screenshot that we got, but I get it. But anything you want to add, Joe, to the Superman and Lois before we move on?
Solid show. I want to see how they leave. They answer that cliffhanger ending from the last the finale. Truly the last CW superhero show we're ever going to get. I don't even think that's a Zaslav thing. I think they were just like moving away from the superhero stuff in general.
Yeah, well, they are embracing the funny part about the CW. They picked up NXT, so they actually somehow picked up NXT. At the same time, they were going to still bring up more reality shows. But again, I get it. I guess reality shows is the wave now, but it's just kind of sad. But again, once Superman and Lois does have a set time, that set time slot as far as when it will start, we will definitely be examining the final episodes of the final season. So that being said, that's really the news that we have. So before we move on to our comic pulls of the week, guys, we always do want to show love to Rick's Comic City. Again, Nashville's #1 place for comic book guys. They have stores located in Nashville and Clarksville, Tennessee. You can go there or go to their website at rickscomiccity.com because you can actually order issues, pull lists, anything regarding anime, mangas, comics, comic collectors, posters, movies, compilation books. You name it, chances are they have it. And again, Nashville's the number one place to go for comic books. So if you are in Nashville, definitely check them out in Nashville or Clarksville, Tennessee. If you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, guys, support your local comic book stores, support your local libraries. They are the last places to where you can get books. And trust me, I get it. Amazon is great. Comixology, reading comics online is great. But there's something that you don't get from those that you do get from walking into your local comic book store. It's the experience. You get to meet like-minded people. You actually get to get exposed to other comic books and other things that you may not know about. And again, it is the experience. We just had Free Comic Book Day 2 weeks ago, and a lot of people got to experience not only getting a free comic book, but actually getting to know the comic book community. So again, guys, and also kids, here at Get Bit, we always say it all the time, read the banned books. Right now, there's a list of books out there they don't want you to know that you really should know because you should expand your mind. So again, read the banned books. You will be better for it. That being said, Joe, I do you have your comics. You have the comic list up, so whenever you're ready.
Yep, this is Nightwing 114. This is written by Tom Taylor, drawn by Bruno Redondo. Bruno Redondo and colors by Andrea Lucas. This is the final arc because Tom Taylor is leaving the book. And when he does, I will also be unsubscribing from this book unless it's a writer I like. So hopefully Josh Williamson will take over. But this is the beginning of the end. The Heartless is finally making a move on Dick Grayson. Starts turning the public majority against him. And Dick, for whatever reason, is in the mountains. I'm going to say he's close to Nanda Parbat or something. I'm taking a pure guess on my end. With Bitewing, we don't know what his relationship with Barb is at the moment, but it's probably still good. But in the grand scheme of things, they will probably split up by the end of this, so everything will be status quo. Or the next time when the new writer takes over, he'll probably immediately break up with Barbara for some superfluous reason. Which in that case, I will immediately unsub from this book. But this is the beginning of the end.
Well, I kind of figured they're kind of following this because, again, not to spoil this because the only reason if you've been kind of following Nightwing's issues before this, that he just can't seem to leap. This is the guy who was a born acrobat that had no problem jumping rooftops, things of that nature, who's suddenly grounded. So he's basically trying to find his way back. So I get that. Again, Heartless is kind of the choice enemy here just because of Grayson being kind of nerfed, it did make sense to kind of give him a more grounded character who has an affinity for organs. I will put it that way. If you know who Heartless is, then you know the reason why he has the name. But in the first issue, it's like I said, the first issue of this story, I think it's a 5-parter, isn't it? Yeah, part 1 of 5.
Yeah, 1 of 5.
Yeah, so it looks like it's I'm willing to ride this out for the next 4 parts and see how they actually solve Dick's yips, I guess you can call them.
Yep. Next up, we got Wonder Woman number 9, written by Tom King, written by Dan Sampere, and colors by Tumu Mori. Diana is now being tortured in a new way. She broke out of the lasso of lies, but was taken down by Sovereign's guards and now is fully imprisoned. This is basically how she deals with torture and is using her thoughts of Steve Trevor to keep her sane. There is some minor retread. Basically, just kind of feel like they're doing the same thing they did last issue, but this time instead of it being a lie, this is Diana's own psyche trying to keep itself held together because she's being held in a prison with no food, no water, no light, no interaction with people, just complete and utter blackness. So, different way of Diana, because Diana is a woman of the people.
Right.
And she is not like Bruce. She is not like Clark. She needs human interaction. She needs to be among everybody to live and thrive. So, an interesting way to attack her mind. I really dug this for that aspect because she even just like, look, I had to kill a rat in order to eat, and it's looking for me, and we became friends. I understand rats say right now because I am mentally broken and I'm just interpreting it to keep myself sane.
See, I tried. I really tried, and I was telling Joe about this before we started the show. If this was a retread, because the whole thing about the lasso that was in the previous issue was of torment of trying to get her to submit. She breaks it, and then you're still in the same hole. And I kind of felt like this issue. Person really was a long issue of explaining the trauma and the fact of how she's dealing with it and using Trevor. And like Joe said, using Trevor as kind of that safety area. So, I mean, that's the one thing I'd say. I get it, but you've already done it. And yet we didn't really need an entire other issue of explaining the trauma all over again to realize that she's still in the cell and still getting tortured. But I still want to ride this out. Still want to see where the story goes because I am liking. I mean, outside this one issue, I am liking the overall Wonder Woman story. But like I said,
she used the vision of her mother to give her the courage to break out of the lasso of lies. This is just straight up utter isolation torture, which is entirely different from being trapped in a fantasy world.
True,
which she even brings up in this issue. It's like, hey. Fake Trevor. He made me this, and it made me this was the last of lies, and eventually I broke out of it.
True, but it was just but it still felt like a retread to me. That's why I'm like, you could have went a different route with this. But like I said, still will ride out with Wonder Woman because I still want to see how this story arc ends. But yeah, this was definitely a miss for me.
Moving on over into Marvel, we got Blood Hunt 2. Written by Jed MacKay with art by Pepe Larraz and colors by Marty Garcia. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's exactly as advertised. So this is Payback, kinda, where we learn, yes, Blade is the new head Lord of the Vampires. The Blood Coven tried to take out the small resistance team of Hunter's Moon, Tigra, and Miles Morales, while the Avengers come in with new anti-vampire countermeasures, while we see that other people are not quite dead and either changed. I don't think that actually can kill Thor, because isn't Thor basically immortal now?
Pretty much. And
so basically the stake in the brain is just to keep him turned off.
Pretty much.
Okay. That was a neat conversation I had with one of my friends because I don't keep up with Thor and they do. Yeah, I just had to go. I was like, "Is Thor basically immortal now?" And they're like, "Yeah,
he's immortal, but how he's being immobilized? They have to immobilize. He's basically being immobilized.
Yeah,
like he's not dead, but he can't move.
Great issue. I do love that. Like Miles doesn't know where Doctor Strange lives because he's basically normally over in Brooklyn and Brooklyn and like
I have
in that borough more. So they're like, I'm new. I don't know where a lot of these places are, and they take him over there. It's like it's not exactly hidden away. It's very obvious where Dr. Strange is, and Miles goes like, I don't get on this side of town much.
Yep, and the funny part was that they run into Strange, who's already having problems of his own. And then I'm not going to see the twist at the end because that I did not see coming. So again, I will give it because he is throwing some curveballs at the ends of these issues, and that one I did not see coming. So yeah, it was a good one.
So I actually talked to the guys at Rick's Comic City, and I wanted to see how well this is going for them. And they told me this is selling exceedingly well to the point where we tried to find certain issues for people that have been asking them out of the boxes to see if like anyone's got extras, and we are not finding any. So they are pleasantly surprised. I still think it's because this is a very cohesive across the books that Jed MacKay is writing.
Yeah,
being the Moon Knight, the Doctor Strange, and the Avengers, and I think that Miles lends itself better to this story than Peter, because Peter's doing Peter's become the Spider Goblin now. No one gives a crap. That even though they got a better artist on the book now, I still don't care because they're doing stupid stuff.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that we're dealing with Miles than Peter, because even the Blood on Spider-Man tie-in was stupid.
I still got to go back and read that.
It's so bad. Oh my god. Like, if you guys, if you want to read Peter, read Spectacular Spider-Man, read Ultimate Spider-Man. Stay away from Amazing Spider-Man. Don't even hate read it. It's just that bad. But still, Miles lends itself wonderfully to this because we have a pre-established history between Blade's daughter Brooke and Miles already. I love the Dracula's in on this. And I was just like, the hell are you doing here? It's like, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this.
Dracula is more ticked off. It's like, you know what it is? Dracula at this moment is pretty much grumpy old man. He's like, I'm only here to fix your problem so I don't get blamed for it.
I actually kind of equate him to Cain from Legacy of Kain. It's like, I'm only here to reclaim my kingdom. I'm only in this for the long game so I can reestablish my power.
Actually, you know what? That's a better comparison. Yeah, I'll go with that. That's better.
But no, this was a great book. The art was fantastic. Colors were bright and vibrant, which is surprising considering it's a book that's happening entire night. Great twists, great turns. I love the fact that Miles had to correct himself. You're another Moon Knight. Another Moon Knight.
There's more
and then even Hunter's Moon is like, to be fair, I didn't know where this was either.
That was funny. There's more than one Moon Knight. It's like, that was funny. Oh man. But no, good. It was a good issue though. Like I said before, the twist at the end I was like, I did not see that coming.
Yes, Panther. Number 4. Number 4.
Yeah, number 4.
This is written by Brian Hill, art by Stefano Caselli, and colors by David Corral. Basically, T'Challa, this is a Shuri and Okoye larger issue where they're discussing how to move forward with Wakanda. While T'Challa is, I wanted to say T'Chaka for no reason. T'Challa is still meeting with Killmonger and everything, and assassination attempt is made. And then Okoye gets introduced to what do they call themselves? I was about to say the Midnight Society, but that's wrong.
No, it was an inner circle, but he's like their inner circle of trust is what he said.
Yeah, it's like, here's Eric Killmonger, here's Storm, here's Shuri, here's me. We need to do something about the Moon Knights and the Ra and the Khonshu.
But I love the fact that he said there and said you can't trust anyone else in Wakanda except in this room. But at the same time, you do gotta love that he just showed up at the right time. But at the same time, what happened with the corpse? That was different.
That was different.
Was very different.
What I loved about this is Killmonger didn't have a Killmonger haircut.
That is true. He did not have a Killmonger haircut.
And he had like this weird like samurai Ronin.
Well, maybe it's
haircut.
Maybe it's a different version, but hey, you're right. He did not have the Killmonger haircut, although we're not going to knock Michael B. Jordan for that. It's just the fact that everybody started doing it. Everybody started.
It was kind of like a samurai top knot, but with dreads.
Yeah. He did with locks, which was still a good look.
And then Storm just in the background looking extra mean and angry.
Hey, Storm looked fabulous. I think
but this is much more affordable than some of our other costumes.
I'll put it this way. I think there's a gentleman's agreement with Storm. Like, you will like I was trying to tell somebody else one day, you will never find a bad Storm drawing in any comic. You'll be hard pressed to find it if you do.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
I bet that's like a Marvel mandate or something.
Has to be. If you mess up Storm, you come up missing.
All right, we got the new Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider. This is written by Stephanie Phillips with art by Federico Machin and colors by Matt Mila. We're putting this in just because Spider-Gwen still fun to read. But as of late, she never really has an ongoing. She kind of has like the Venom touch now, the classic Venom touch, where she'll do miniseries after miniseries after miniseries. And in this one, she is permanently living in Earth 616, trying to reestablish her identity as a Gwen Stacy, but not the Gwen Stacy. Meanwhile, she's working with the TVA, specifically Obi, which I think this is his comic book debut.
Yeah.
Which big ups for him, but like Obi tells her, like, look, you can't like be Spider-Gwen here because we're here undercover and we don't need any more spider people here. And even I think the best thing about this book is that they actually address something in this. Is that Gwen goes, I'm okay being here doing what I need to do, but there are too many spider people in this city.
It's just,
she just starts naming people.
But wasn't that just odd though? Because when I was reading that, I was like, wait a minute, you're basically a part of the TVA. You could literally put Gwen in any branch of the timeline you choose to. You choose to put her in the most convoluted one, and then expect her not to be herself.
That's true. Like she's Spider-Gwen's up almost immediately to stop things, but like that is something I want to touch upon. And it's very I find it odd that they do it in this book, is that they are finally starting to make the statement of there's too many spider people.
Yeah. Now that's the part that's the like you do know you could have put her somewhere else. But I mean, this issue is definitely interesting. I kind of want to see where they go with this, just because technically this is one character who is kind of quote unquote unalived. But yeah, I'm just curious to see where it goes.
Yep, me too. Like I said, Spider-Gwen does kind of get the 90s Venom touch, where it's just like one big event story after another, and there's no real consistency with her. There hasn't been for quite a while, and I hope she gets it again, but right now she's doing like the Venom thing.
Makes sense.
Next up, we got She-Hulk. This is written by Rainbow Raoul with art by Andreas Genolet and colors by D. Kunfi. I will never get that right. Basically, this is the we make up issue to everything that's been going on. They just finally confess like they love each other, and maybe Jack of Hearts can take care of space parking tickets, which even he didn't know was a thing.
He got money.
Oh no, good book. I mean, very sweet. We know what me and Will know what we're getting when we read this book. We understand that this is a She-Hulk book, but we understand this is not the punching, kicking She-Hulk. This is the thinking, loving, trying to be a normal person She-Hulk, which is an aspect of her life we don't get very much.
But additionally, I still want to find out what happens in the next issue. I'm not gonna not gonna spoil it, because I still want to see what those three characters will do in their own story. I hope it gets done. But beforehand, yeah, the She-Hulk story was pretty good. I mean, let's be honest, Jennifer just has a bad run, and Jack is kind of torn between two women, even though one woman was just, the other woman was just like, you tell her she's an enemy, all of a sudden Injustice gets to use one word too many. But no, it was still a good issue. I liked it.
All I'm going to say is Patsy's an enabler.
Pretty much. You had no argument for me on that.
Moving on over X-Men, because it's just not a week if we don't cover an X book at some point. This is written by Jerry Dugan with art by Lucas Warnick and Stefano Caselli, with colors by Brian Valencia. All right, this is Fall of the House of X number 5. This issue is just how to kill Nimrod.
Deep fried.
You just put a little storm in it.
In so many words, deep fried. We said it already. Yeah, Storm showed up, and if you ever want to know what happens when Storm, Magneto, and his daughter Polaris all get together and what they can do when they have the ability, you basically get deep fried Nimrod. But
it's like that horrible Halle Berry joke.
Yeah.
You know what happens when a toe gets struck by lightning? Everything else. Same as everything else. It goes. Bzz.
Yeah, but no, it was a good issue. I did like the fact of how Storm came in. You know, the funny part is, again, we're going to, apologies for spoiling this because I got to point this out. You realize that how Storm entered in and Cyclops saw it was kind of the same way Cyclops introduced Storm in X-Men 97.
Yeah, but you know they've got to do that because there are so many Storm and Scott memes where just Scott doesn't understand anything about Storm that they have to pair those two up constantly to like subvert the meme.
But it was a good one though. I like the fact that he sat there and said, "Why are you smiling?" Oh, on account of weather. It just one humongous ass lightning bolt comes out of nowhere. But no, good issue though. I did like it.
Now, the art was fantastic, especially in this book. It's nice seeing all this stuff. It's interesting seeing some of the ways they fight people. Wolverine got the crap kicked out of him in this book.
I mean, yeah, he's sitting there holding what used to be his arm. Jesus.
And one of my favorite ex-ladies got her time to shine. I do love Polaris a lot. I prefer her old costume where she was constantly in the sunglasses and the carrying the coffee, but I'll take Daughter of Magneto costume too.
I mean, when you put the positive and negative together, you know what you get.
I don't know if I put the Power Rangers 120 in here. I did not. But this was written by Joshua Williamson with art by Andrea Milana, and colors by Annalisa Leone. That is it.
Nice. Well, guys, as we wrap this up,
definitely Blood Hunt too.
Oh yeah, Blood Hunt is definitely Blood Hunt definitely was better from the book for me. But as we wrap this up, guys, we do want to thank everybody that liked, that watched, that shared our podcast, let people know we're live. We certainly appreciate everybody that commented along with us. We try to catch everything. Like if you're commenting on Instagram, that's the reason why I kind of hop back and forth because unfortunately it doesn't show here. But you can watch our YouTube page. You can watch our Twitch stream. You can watch us on Facebook. We'll be able to see your comments there as well. But again, we thank everybody that liked, that watched, that subscribed, notifications on. We simply cannot do this without you. But Joe, you want to let the people know where you're at and where they can find you, sir?
I will be at Nashville Comic-Con next week with the Tennessee Ghostbusters. Hopefully you'll be there too, Will. I don't know what's going on with you.
Life be lifing, but I'll see.
I'm only there Saturday.
I may be there with the kids. I'm not 100% sure right now.
Other than that, I don't have time for much right now because the medical world's kind of in upheaval because of the Ascension hack. So my job is very overrun with people right now. So I'm very tired constantly. I am playing Street Fighter again on Twitch. You can see last night's match. Season 2 happened. I keep fighting that same old man every time. As the SpongeBob thing goes, how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Actually, I went back and watched that stream. And I was like, I kind of laughed a little bit because I did see where you were talking about where a few of them they just bum rushed you, and that's still funny. The fact they bum rushed you went in for you kind of had the easy grab and the air grab. So again, if you haven't seen Joe's Twitch stream or his Show I Got Joe, trust me, you watch it. And I'm just like, and I haven't played Street Fighter 6 yet, so when I actually do get a chance to play it, I am definitely practicing. But I'm sorry, Joe.
I am an adequate player, but when I did the double perfect, it's like we're ending on a high note. I'm not doing this anymore. It's been an hour.
Nice.
I can't fight any more Akimas.
God.
I haven't gotten around to playing Aki, and apparently Aki's like one of the biggest winners out of that patch.
Huh. Interesting.
Yes, Ken was the biggest loser out of that patch.
Really? See, this is why I got hurt and get Star Wars 346.
And
But
they added a new drive mechanic that helps not totally break out of the throw loop. That still can be a thing, but now we have drive reversal recovery to where if you have a hard knockdown, you can hold the drive reversal motion, and on wake up recovery, you'll do it and push them back almost full screen.
Interesting. Okay, I'll have to keep that in mind. Well, before I get to myself, guys, I do got to shout out BlurredStation.com. Again, I cannot keep stressing this. This is the vehicle for blurs and people of color. We talked about YouTube going downhill. We talked about Netflix kind of being, Netflix and Hulu and Amazon removing and adding content and raising prices. We keep on saying we want a place of our own for our content to be watched, to be owned, to be shared, and for us to have our own seat at the table. Blur Station is it. If you guys want to, I highly encourage you, check out BlurredStation.com. Please join now. It is $10.99 a month. If you do join, guys, I ask you that when you do hit the join now button, if you will select the Blurred's Eye View Affinity membership, select myself or anybody there, whether it be Black Spartan, Safari TV, we would all appreciate all the same. And it's $10.99 a month. Again, not too many places, especially on the streaming scene, are still doing $10.99 a month. So please definitely do that. And after paying $10.99 a month for 36 months, guys, you do get the opportunity to own a piece of Blur Station. Again, at Blur Station, you own the content. And that is literally all they're asking for. For you to be a content creator on Blur Station, you do have to join it first. So again, once you join, you'll be able to reach out to those at Blur Station, and hopefully your content will be produced, be able to be shown there. And again, you get to keep ownership. Ownership is the new thing, guys, and Blur Station is that vehicle. Definitely check it out. As for myself, you can usually find me Black_Spartan615 on all the socials. I do reviews on almost everything. The link at the bottom, I'll make that just a little bit bigger for you guys to see. If you copy and paste that link into your browser, take your link to it as YouTube and Facebook groups for all the podcasts. How the heck we got here, Get Bit and all those podcasts. I know for a lot of you that liked and shared and subscribed, I appreciate it, but still, a like, a share, and a follow costs nothing and takes a second to do. And again, we cannot make this bigger without you. So hopefully, guys, you can join us, follow us, both me and Show a Guy Joe, as we try to take this podcast to newer heights. At the same time, guys, definitely check out Blurred's Eye View, the other podcast that I'm on every Tuesday and every Thursday. Definitely check out Safari TV, who's usually with us, but again, he's at MobileCon right now. But definitely check out Safari TV. Also check out Geek by Heart, Lainey, who's also in the comments as well, because they actually just got through reviewing the latest Planet of the Apes movie. So definitely check them out on their YouTube page. Again, also check out Big BZA for beats and things of that nature on all cross socials as well. And again, guys, I cannot stress this enough. We cannot do this without you. So with that being said, guys, as we wrap this up, we will hopefully be back here same time next Friday, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel. By next week, however, because that is the last week before Summer of Games, and just to go ahead and give you guys a heads up, we do try to do our best to cover Summer of Games. We will also be covering Microsoft's Game Showcase that'll be happening 2 weeks from now. So we hopefully will have some answers. At the same time, guys, whatever news that actually happens in the next week or so, we will definitely have for next Friday. So again, we hope you join us. But before we call it night, Joe, any last words, sir?
In 2 weeks, we will also have the birthday podcast. As it's my birthday,
because
on the 7th.
Oh, yes, because on the 7th.
I'm going to see if I also can rope, since Tafari's never seen Ultraman, I'm going to see if I can't rope him into like a watch react thing for when the new Ultraman comes out in July. I want to see if he'll be down for that.
Might be able to if you ask. He probably will be down for it. But yes, my co-host Joe will be having his birthday, so we will have to come up with something for that birthday podcast then. We'll have to come up with something.
I'll be so close to the meaning of life. But I'm turning 41.
Oh, I think 41. I was like, wait a minute.
That's why I'm close to the meaning of life.
I missed that. Because I was like, wait a minute, the answer to all things is 43. I was like, hang on a second. 42.
That's why Miles' Spider is 42.
Yeah, the answer to life is 42. If you haven't seen the Hitchhiker's Guide to Traveling the Galaxy, that's where we get the reference from. But anyway, as we wrap this up, guys, we always talk about fandoms. We know them, we love them, we share them, we debate them in a nice way. The last thing we want to be is toxic gatekeepers. The last thing we want to be is put down anybody's taste who is different than ours, simply put, because they don't match us. The whole idea of fandoms is to include people into things and introduce them to experiences they may not know, but actually will be forever changed by it, and hopefully change the way we look at fan bases, change the way we look at cons, change the way we look at each other. Because again, cosplaying is for everybody. Cosplay has no body or color requirements. The only thing we ask you not to do is blackface. Don't do blackface. That's all. Everything else, open season. Aside from that, guys, simply put, when you're sharing fandoms, be kind, be nice, answer questions, because a lot of people don't know what's going on and they may just want to know. But above all else, don't be a dick about it. That being said, guys, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. He's been Joe. I've been Will. This has been the Get Bit Podcast. We do thank you all for watching. We certainly appreciate it. Again, if you're at cons, have fun, be safe. And if you're going to cons, have fun and be safe. And let us know about it. Because again, if you got stuff like Austin the Virus has, I want to know. But anyway, it's a whole nother story. Take care, guys. Peace.